In today's video, I'm gonna give you my honest review of some barefoot minimalist shoes.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
Here's the deal, guys. When you're born as a child, your foot has the toes as the widest part of the entire foot structure. Yet as we age, we start wearing shoes like Nikes or Reeboks that have a very narrow toe box. And unbeknownst to you, this is actually actively deforming your foot. This leads to problems like bunions, hammer toes, plantar fasciitis, and often leads to problems in foot stability. So recently there's been a boom in barefoot minimalist type shoes that actually have a super wide toe box and looks more like a foot. So today what I'm gonna do is give you my honest review of these 4 types of shoes, and I'm gonna compare it to shoes like Nikes and Reeboks, things that are very more popular. Now, one of the ways that we're going to compare them is with a shoe liner test. All you're going to do, and I want you to do this with me at home, is take the liner, the insole, out of your shoe, and you're gonna stand on it and see what your foot looks like on it. Now, for example, if we take the Nike is a very common shoe. This is the Air Max. Look how narrow this thing is. Well, if we take the insole out and stand on it, what you're gonna do is spread your toes out as wide as possible in that foot. This is a test I learned from Dr. Ray McClanahan. Look at the position of my big toe. When I spread my toes out, my big toe's almost hanging completely off the insole. That means that my foot cannot assume its natural shape within this shoe. In fact, what it has to do to stay in the shoe is be pinched together. Now, look what happens to my ability to control for pronation when my foot is that narrow. My foot just collapses over very easily and my knee goes with it. Now, if I were to actually have a natural shape to my foot and spread my toes out, look at this. My foot cannot excessively pronate over because my toe is in its anatomically aligned position to provide stability for the foot. So this is why the shoe liner test is so important, is it gives you context to see where your foot is aligned within the shoe and how that affects the shape and function of that foot. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go through every single one of these shoes. Now the first one is the Vivo Barefoot. This is one of the newer additions from Vivo Barefoot. It is extremely wide as compared to some of these other shoes, and I'm gonna compare the shoe liner test to the Reebok Nano. For all my CrossFitters out there, this is a very common shoe. The idea behind this is that it's extremely flexible. You can just roll it all up and pop, it's gonna come right back to its natural shape. It's extremely flexible so that your foot can function as it was designed and actually mold to the structures that you're walking over. It's a very small insole as far as how thick it is, so you can feel the ground underneath you much better. Very good shoe, very wide toe box, very flexible. The one thing that's interesting about these compared to the other ones over here, it's got a very flexible upper right here. So if you're looking for something that has maybe a little bit more structure to the shoe right here, this may not be the best one for you. I could see this being very, very helpful if you want to get into running, trail hiking, anything like that, but often a great shoe. So that's from Vivo Barefoot. And let's compare this. We're not even gonna look at the Nike because we know that thing is just extremely narrow. So toss that out to the side. But here's your Reebok Nano. Very common CrossFit shoe. And I'm gonna put this over the top. This is the Vivo Barefoot. This is the Reebok Nano. You can see how much further this overlaps that one. And what I mean by that is that the insole of the Reebok Nano, look at my feet in this. My toe is still smashed in with the rest of my toes. So yes, a Reebok Nano is not a wide toe box shoe. If I actually spread my toes out, I have over half my toe falling on the outside of the insole, meaning that a Reebok Nano is going to hinder optimal foot function and stability whenever you're doing a WOD. So anyone that's using this for CrossFit, there are better options out there that will help your foot function as it was designed. Whereas if I stand on top of the Vivo Barefoot, you can see that my foot, maybe only a tiny bit of it is falling off the edge. Overall, this foot allows my foot to function. I can even see a gap between my first and second toes when I'm standing on this. So a much better option for that. So we'll put that one off to the side. Okay, next we're going to look at the Zero. This is the Prio. And the thing I like about this shoe so much, not only that it looks really cool, it's got a little bit more padding in the upper heel area, and the way in which the laces are designed is it actually can stiffen the heel cup, I guess you would call it, a little bit more. This is gonna be a great transitional shoe for a lot of people, especially those who enjoy sort of a functional fitness shoe, like the CrossFit shoe. I really like how it's still very wide, and actually, if you compare the shoe liner for these two shoes, you'll notice they're almost identical within the toe box. Now, the Vivo shoe has just a little bit more width, I guess you would say, to the midfoot, and as far as the insole goes, but the shoe liner test is almost identical when it looks at the toe box area. So again, both of these are gonna be great options. Again, how flexible is it? Maybe a little bit stiffer than the Vivo shoe, but overall, great option. Let's stand on the shoe liner of the Zero shoe. And again, my toes can spread out just a little bit more. Again, if I spread my toe out really far on the left side, it does hang off a little bit. So optimally, I would like to see this shoe be just a tad bit wider, but I think for most people, I've got a pretty wide foot. I would say for most people, this is gonna be an excellent shoe. A great transition shoe for functional fitness. They have the shoe liner, it's maybe about 2 millimeters thick, and then has maybe, I think, a 4 to 5 millimeter sole right here. So provides good grip on the ground. So it's gonna be an excellent shoe for running, hiking, working out, doing your WOD, anything like that. So that is the Zero Prio shoe. Another great option. So let's take those out to the side. These next two shoes do not have a shoe liner that is removable, but are excellent, excellent shoes. These are the two that I wear most often throughout my day. This is the Feel Grounds High Rise. The Feel Grounds High Rise is by far the most good looking casual barefoot shoe that I have ever seen. These just look so stylish. I love these shoes. If you've seen many videos of me at the clinic working with patients, these are often the shoes that I'm wearing just because they have that sort of casual professional look. The thing about the Feel Grounds is in their name, Feel Grounds. The sole is the most thin compared to any of these other ones. You can literally feel every single part of the ground as you're walking. So if you are walking and you go over a stone, you can feel it underneath you. It allows your foot to function as it was designed and enhance your proprioception. Again, super wide toe box, even though it doesn't have a removable insole like the other ones. You can see this is extremely wide, and actually I think is just maybe a little bit wider than your Zero or your Vivo Barefoot, just a little bit wider. But the thing though too is because it has this very soft canvas upper, is that if your foot does go over just a little bit, it has room. So it's gonna be able to function well. You're not gonna feel like you're constrained at all if you have a very wide foot. So beyond looking awesome, this can literally be a casual shoe, a dress-up shoe. It's extremely, extremely flexible. Look at that. So if you're traveling, you need a very small space to put some of your shoes, boom. This is going to be your best option. Now, the only thing about this shoe is I would not recommend it for working out. So if you're exercising, running, if you're trying to do any CrossFit, anything like that, this is probably not gonna be your best shoe just because it does have a lot of give to it, and I wouldn't want you to rip any part of the shoe out. So this is gonna be your casual, your going out shoe, your work shoe, but this is probably not gonna be your workout shoe. Coming to our workout shoe, this is the Ursus shoe by Barefoot Athletics. I've been using this shoe for about 1.5 years now. This is from Chris Duffin, the mad scientist from Kabuki Strength. They made Barefoot Athletics about 2 years ago, I believe, and the Ursus is their design, and basically it is a wide toe box, completely flat shoe for the strength athlete, the power lifter specifically that does not need a heel, that wants a completely flat shoe. Now, you can see it has sort of that moccasin-like design where it's a little bit different than the common shoe design from the Zero or the Vivo. Obviously, if you're not into that type of design, you may not like this shoe. I personally am gonna go function over fashion any day. I think they look great and feel great. My wife says it looks like I'm trying to go to a Renaissance festival. Guess what? Joke's on her, because these feel freaking amazing to have on. They're extremely, extremely comfortable, and they're probably the widest out of any of these. If you actually compare them, they're probably some of the widest toe box. So this is an excellent shoe. If you're looking for a shoe for squats and deadlifts, go with this shoe. The grip is extremely good on the bottom, and because it's more of a thick leather, you're not gonna get that shoe rolling on its side and tearing at all. So this can hold up. Chris Duffin said he wanted to create a very thick leather for the sides, the upper of the shoe, so that it would not tear and it would hold up well for those who are even sumo deadlifters. So this is a great shoe for weight training. Again, this is the Barefoot Athletics Ursus. It doesn't have a removable sole, but trust me, you can see right here, this is a very wide shoe. So to bring it all together, we have 4 different shoes. We have a casual shoe. We have 2 shoes that would be excellent for running, excellent for working out, especially this if you're into more of a functional fitness, because I believe it's got just a little bit more padding for the heel, so your foot's not gonna move around as much, but yet still give your toes enough room to spread. You have a foot that's gonna be excellent for walking, running, casual, even looks good going out. And then you have more of your strength-minded shoe right here. So all of these are going to be better options than what's been currently on the market. Here's the deal, guys. You want your foot to function well in order to provide a base for the rest of your body to move well. And that means giving your foot room to spread out. Too many times we've been told by these big companies that those are the best shoes for you to perform athletically. And they don't understand the physiology and the biomechanics of your foot. You need those toes to spread out. So I would highly recommend jumping on and getting a pair of these. Now, here's the important thing, is if you have never used a shoe like this, you need to go slow in your transition to them. Don't just get a pair of field grounds and just start wearing them around 8 hours a day. Go slow with it, because if you go from a very cushioned, high drop shoe down to something that's completely flat and barefoot, and you just go crazy with it, you could end up with a very hurt foot, because your foot is very new to this. It's not ready for it. You need to have some training rules, basically. So what I would recommend is wearing your new barefoot shoe, maybe about 30 minutes a day, and then every single day or every week increasing how often you are using it, maybe 30 minutes at a time, to where you are starting to wear it full time. If you are a runner, I would not go out and run 10 miles in a barefoot shoe if you're not used to it. If you're used to running in a Nike, an Asics, a Brooks, something that has a lot of cushion to it, I would maybe go for a mile and then run the rest of the time with your other shoes, and then slowly over months progress to wearing something like this. All right, guys, that's it for today's video on barefoot minimalist type shoes. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, happy squatting.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.